Now, you gave a talk this morning on the vision of ECCO, and you are president now, running up through to a very big meeting. What will be the biggest meeting, I suspect, ever next year in Stockholm? The vision is?
Well, the vision is that multidisciplinarity is increasing and that we have to meet the demands of multidisciplinarity in Europe. So we see in patient care that a lot of clinical trials have shown that multidisciplinary treatment is better than monospecialty treatment. We see the same in teaching. We all have a lack of young oncologists going into the field of oncology, and multidisciplinary teaching and education is one way to enhance that. And we certainly see it in cancer research. There will be nothing really big, new, where we don't have a multidisciplinary approach. You only think about that you need molecular scientists, that you need pathologists, that you need diagnostic people in radiology, nuclear medicine, and the different specialties. And all have to bring their expertise in. Otherwise, we do not produce data and results which are useful for our patients.
And the meeting in Stockholm is going to be ECCO, ESMO, ESTRO. Is this the case?
The meeting in Stockholm will be the multidisciplinary European Cancer Meeting, and it is run, of course, by everybody involved in the field. So it is a meeting where several societies are partners. The very big ones of those are the founding members of ECCO, but it's important to stress that multidisciplinarity needs all specialty involved. So it would be a very bad thing to have a meeting today where we cannot meet those multidisciplinary demands. And that means we have to have a fully integrative approach on also promoting such meetings. And I think that there's a good track record in the European Cancer Meeting on doing that. We have produced very high quality science during those meetings and presented that science. And that's exactly the way we need to continue to do.
That's fine for ECCO, thank you very much. ESTRO has impressed me very, very much indeed. It was you who suggested I should come to ESTRO with the cancer, and here we are. The translational science has really, really surprised me, and I think it's terrific. What's your view? You're in the inside, it's no surprise to you, but what's the sort of highlights for you?
It's actually indeed no surprise to me. I think that translational science has been very strong in ESTRO all the time, and that means translational science coming from several fields. It means biology, but it also means physical translational science, because of course we also need new technology to treat patients better. And so you see at this conference really new development and very high precision technical developments, integrating imaging methods, and you see at the same time big improvements in biological understanding of radiation response, and increasingly actions which you can use to modify the effects of radiation, either making tumors more sensitive or making normal tissues more resistant, and both would lead to a better therapeutic ratio. And what really is fascinating is that we see times now where it's not a contrast that we have developments in translational biology and in translational physics. It goes together. Think about molecular imaging. That is only bringing news to the patients if it's integrated from all aspects, meaning biology, meaning physics, and meaning the clinical evaluation.
And Professor Rodeman was talking about a clinical example where from a clinical drug, temozolomide, which I was involved in making, we suddenly have a totally new use of the drug, which could be probably one of the best uses as a radiosensitizer. And then on the other side, we've got all these drugs which have been made for repairing or blocking the repair of the repair with PARP. And these are just exploding, and these have to be multidisciplinary, do they not?
Yes, and that's a very important point you bring up there. It is in drug development today, you can develop drugs which you want to give on their own. That's one approach very often taken. Then very often another approach is to combine it directly with other systemic drugs. And already in that scenario, we have experienced in the past that the work mode of drugs may change. But the same is true for radiation. If you take a new drug and put it together with radiation, you will see surprises, and that means we need a lot of multidisciplinary development there between drug developers, radiation biologists, and then clinicians who bring that into trials. And we know that there are drugs which have no work action on their own, but they work together with radiation. On the other hand, we have drugs which work quite nicely or reasonable if given alone, but if you put them together with radiation, there's no efficacy at all. So it's very important to systematically explore that on a multidisciplinary level.
So are you saying to the pharma companies, all these new substances should be tested in radiosensitization models?
I would even go further than that. I really think that the pharmaceutical industry has to realize that a huge number of cancer patients is getting radiotherapy. So all drugs which are in the pipeline and are going to be developed at some point in time will be brought together with radiation. So what I think the pharmaceutical companies have to do in their strategic developments is to bring in radiotherapy and radiobiology at an early stage. So not to lose time, which we need to get better drugs earlier into clinics, and I really feel that a new strategy in thinking is necessary there.